It's Douglas Coleman.
Howdy, howdy, ho. Hey, hey. Welcome to the Douglas Coleman Show. It's me, Douglas Coleman. How are you? How are you? We have moved now to Spreaker.com, and I hope this is the last time we have to move. We had a lot of technical problems and very poor audio quality with Blog Talk. So we only did one show, actually two. And then Spreaker is half the price. So I said, well, I think the choice is pretty simple. So we moved, and things are going great on Spreaker. We've been there I uploaded all my shows that I've done so far, and we have had 200 replays in 3 days, which I think is pretty amazing. So I'm really happy about that. So hopefully we will stay there. I hate moving the show. I really do. You have to tell everybody you've moved. You've got to change all the URLs, and it's just a real pain in the ass. So I hope we stay here forever and ever and ever. The one thing I wanted to mention is that we have a sponsor now, and I'm looking for many, many more. So if you want to be mentioned on the Douglas Coleman Show, or you have a pre-recorded ad that you'd like me to play, I'm running an ad on Fiverr.com. And the website is Fiverr, Fiverr.com/Marky1, which is actually the name of my cat. And for $5, I will mention your website or your product. And for $20, I will play your pre-recorded ad up to 30 seconds in length, and I'll play it twice in my show. Also, once the ad is broadcasted on the live show, it becomes a part of the podcast and will be a permanent fixture for all the replays. People will hear your ad. So it's a good deal for $20. But if you just want to mention, it's only $5. So anyways, check out the ad at Fiverr, Fiverr.com/Marky1. Okay, the other announcement I have is that we're still looking for dancers, choreographers, and classical musicians for my 2 showcases that are coming in September. If you are interested in being a part of the showcase, please email me at radio@douglascolemanmusic.com and include in the subject line either dance or classical, depending on which one you are. And if you're not sure which one you are, then just put both in the subject line, and I'll try to figure out what you are. Okay, so I want to bring on my co-host now. I guess we can officially call her the co-host. She is the president and founder of Ladylake Entertainment, the always light and fluffy Ms. Cindy Diadamo. Hey, Cindy, how are you?
Doing good.
How you doing?
I love the applause.
You like the applause?
Oh, yeah. Applause.
Hey, I saw something on your Facebook today that I just started to laugh, and I wanted to see if you would mention it on the show. It was something about a submission that somebody sent to you?
Oh, geez, yes. I always get these crazy submissions. You know, I'm open to all submissions, and I'm always interested in hearing people's new music and what's going on. So I suppose this particular gentleman found me via my Twitter, which has my email post. Okay, so this gentleman, I'll use that term lightly, evidently found my email on my Twitter and decided to send me what he believed to be a submission. The submission had no subject in the email. It was just totally blank. And then it had a couple of links with an N-word in part of the title of the songs. And then it just said, yo, check it out. And then it said his name. And then it said, sent from my iPhone. That was it.
That was it, huh? So are you going to sign this guy up to the Ladylake roster or what?
Oh, I'm itching to sign him up to something. No, really, sometimes I don't answer these and I just delete them. But then sometimes if I am in a particularly witty mood, I will fire back something like, "Dear so-and-so, thank you so much for your submission. However, what you should consider when you submit to someone is that you need to know what you're submitting to in the first place, and you need to know what's required for the submission. And I don't think 2 links and a yo are going to get you anywhere."
So he didn't even mention you by name in this thing?
No, it was just 2 links. The email opened with 2 links. There wasn't even a hello. There were just 2 links and then a yo, check it out, his name, and then sent from my iPhone.
That's unbelievable. And you know what? This guy will probably get signed by a major label.
I know, wouldn't it figure? I feel as if everyone should at least have some courtesy, say hello, give a little sentence of introduction, and then perhaps, what they're looking for. Like, I'm an aspiring artist of whatever genre. I'm looking to get airplay, or I'm trying to better my name so I can get on tour, or, I don't even have materials. I don't even know how to start. Could you help me start? Or whatever it is that this gentleman was looking for. I've got no idea, but he's certainly not going to get it from me.
Well, I think he did get it from you because I saw that Facebook thing all over the place. And if he has a Facebook account and is smart enough to figure out that came from him.
Yeah, I think basically he got on my Facebook. I didn't name him by name exactly. I just, I'm sure he realizes he just submitted to me and it was him, but I tried to at least be a little bit polite.
Well, light and fluffy once again. And now, once again, it's time for Ladylake Corner.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Ladylake Corner for the week of August 10th through 15th. You can find us located on Reverb Nation at www.reverbnation.com/label/Ladylake Music. That is a collection of all of our artists. You can see photos, hear music, and view all of the exciting events that the Ladylake artists are currently doing. As you may know if you follow Ladylake, our artist David Martinez of Corpus Christi, Texas, is now in LA recording. Also, we promote singer-songwriter Jimmy Wilden, who lives in Corpus Christi too. He will be playing at Cassidy's Irish Pub on Saturday, August 15th at 10 p.m. To find more on this show and to listen to Jimmy Wilden's great music, check him out at reverbnation.com/Jimmy Wilden. Wilden is Wilden, Jimmy Wilden. Another cool event that we have coming up is our New Jersey singer-songwriter Rick Winnow, who is available at reverbnation.com/Rick Winnow, Winow. He will be coming up as the co-host of the Rue and Who television show. That is held in New York City and filmed at a club called Otto's Shrunken Head, which is kind of a cool name. It has a little bit of a tiki bar type motto or theme going on. And the host of this show is Rue Starr. She's a longtime friend of Ladylake. She's a musician, and she's a well-known fashionista extraordinaire. Her name is Rue, REWSTARR. This show airs live on Wednesday, August 12th at 4 p.m. Eastern, then is available for additional viewing on YouTube. For information and to view the show live, go to www.rueandwho, REWANDWHO, rueandwho.com to watch The Rue and Who Show, co-hosted by Rick Winnow. And that is everything exciting that we have going on this week on the Ladylake Corner.
Well, thank you, Cindy, for the Ladylake Corner. That was always very informative. Oh, I think our Periscope Girl is calling in with her weekly report on her Periscope. Hello, Periscope Girl.
Aye, aye, Captain. Ahoy, Cindy. Periscope Girl reporting. This week's report is as follows. Periscope is so popular that Facebook has brought out its own version to compete. However, it's for celebs only, whereas Periscope's for everyone. So sign up free on Twitter, my hearties, as it's full steam ahead for jolly fun. Just be your wonderful selves. If you're an indie author or band, interact live with your listeners and readers. Build a community. Shiver my timbers. You can watch landlubbers from across the globe, like Ladylake and her hearty crew. Teleport now into someone's life as it's happening. Rah! Avast! Warning! Do not use autocorrect as it changes Periscope to penis cope. You don't want people thinking you're a bilge rat. Periscope Girl signing out. Roger that, Captain. Over and out.
Okay, thank you, Periscope Girl. I think she's going to dive again. Yeah, there she goes. Submarine going down, going down. Goodbye, we'll see you next week. Bondi Guest House in Jomtien Beach, Pattaya, Thailand. And their guest house offers beachfront accommodations with all rooms having sea views. Some rooms have balconies overlooking the sea as well. The Jomtien nightlife is within an easy stroll, and the beach is right outside your door. The attractions of Pattaya City nightlife are also just a few minutes ride away. Food is available 24 hours and offer a selection of European and Thai food. The owners, Colin and Malcolm, look forward to welcoming you to the Bondi. And if you book early for October 2015, the rooms start at 600 baht per night, which is approximately $18. For more information, email Colin at bondipattaya, BONDIPATTAYA @yahoo.co.uk. And if you do contact them, please mention that you heard about it on the Douglas Coleman Show. Okay, now I'd like to introduce my very special guest today. I'm very excited to have him on the show. He has 2 top 25 records on the UK DJ charts, as well as in Japan, Germany, Switzerland, and the Netherlands. He was Celebrity of the Month, featured in the UK DonShanto.com. He's also had music placement on ESPN Friday Night Fights. He has radio play across the United States. He's performed on the same bill as Florida, Mario, Pitbull, Rick Ross, Lil Wayne. In 2011, he focused on getting his solo career on track, releasing his first solo mixtape entitled Sex, Love, and Heartbreak, spelled B-R-A-K-E. Upon its initial release, the mixtape was downloaded over 12,000 times in the first 6 weeks. After this, he was seen and heard all over the web with a string of radio interviews and viral music videos, which were all met with critical acclaim from both fans and critics alike. In August of 2012, he signed a deal with Monarchy Records, which is a division of Spectrum Music Group. His much-anticipated album, Point of No Return, is already getting amazing reviews and was released in September of 2013. And now he's working as an actor in a new film currently in production entitled Achilles the Hit. Please welcome International Nova. Hey.
Thank you so much for having me.
How you doing, Nova? All right?
Oh, I'm pretty good. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Listen, I wanted to ask you about your name. It's a very cool name. I'm guessing that wasn't your birth name, though.
Well, actually, Nova is my last name.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah. Nova's my last name. I actually added the international because I kind of found out that in hip-hop, there's a lot of different people using the name Nova. So I kind of needed something to go in front of that. And luckily, we had, gotten a lot of international acclaim. So I said, hey, that makes sense. International Nova. And that's been it for the past few years now.
Well, okay, no, it's a very cool name. I didn't know if you picked that as a stage name or what, but if that's actually your last name, that's really good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Nova means a lot of things in different languages. I mean, in English, it means like some kind of an exploding star.
Yes.
And then in Latin, it means new. And I think in Spanish, Nova means no go, which wouldn't be a good name to have at all, I don't think.
Yeah, it's funny because every time I meet people, that's like one of the first things they say. They say, hey, well, in Spanish, that means no go. And I'm like, yeah, but in English, it also means an exploding star.
Right. Well, I like the exploding star much better. I think that suits you. I think that's a much better thing. Give us a little background for people who don't know who you are. Like where'd you grow up and what'd you listen to? And were you
definitely.
A good kid or a bad kid?
I'm actually from New York City, born and raised in the Bronx. Been there my whole life. I was actually, growing up, I was somebody that played a lot of sports. Played at high school basketball, football, and baseball, and went to college on a baseball scholarship. Sophomore year, I got into a pretty bad car accident, flew out the window and hit a tree.
Whoa.
And after that, I kind of had to, focus on my school and find something else to kind of, be my hobby and my activity. And, I've always known people that worked in the music industry, people that had some success in the music industry. And they would always, kind of push me into that direction. But I always thought I wasn't that good at it, And then, like I said, sophomore, junior year, I just said, you know what, let me try it. Let me work hard at it, and hopefully things can happen. And, I was lucky enough that within the first few months of me actually trying the music thing, things just started moving. And, kind of been stuck in it and loving it ever since.
Well, so what did you listen to as a kid that inspired you for music? What kind of stuff were you listening to?
Well, I've always loved Tupac and the Outlaws and Nas and different type of hip hop artists that way. But I've always also been a huge R&B fan, and I like the old school R&B, New Edition, Jodeci, things of that nature. But really, those were my main influences growing up, especially Tupac. And fast forward all these years later, I still listen to Tupac on a daily basis. And I also listen to a lot of old school music, some Sade and things of that nature. So,
well, let me ask you a couple of questions regarding genre, I guess is the right term. I'm always confused. What is the difference between rap and hip hop?
Well, hip hop is an actual lifestyle. Hip hop is not only the music that you listen to, but it's the way you dress, the way you act, the swagger that comes with hip hop. I think a lot of people confuse the two. Rapping is just rapping. Anybody can rap. Anybody can make words rhyme. But hip hop is the actual culture. And without the culture of hip hop, you can't be a rapper. At least a legitimate rapper per se.
Okay, so hip hop is really it's the whole thing rather than just because I think people use those terms. They interchange those terms all the time, and I know and then there's like old school rap, something like Run DMC, which is kind of the stuff that I listened to when it first came out, right? But,
yeah, Run DMC especially, those were some of the early examples of hip hop. They made great rap music, but they lived the life down to their Adidas and down to their tracksuits and the way they dressed.
So what would you call, I remember some other music that I really liked too was, you mentioned New Edition, Bobby Brown, the New Edition. There was one, Boys to Men, and then there was another one called Belle Biv DeVoe. Would that be considered like old school hip hop? I'm not quite sure what category that sort of music fit into, but I like.
Well, yeah, Belle Biv DeVoe and really New Edition, they were kind of that. Yeah, that was actually considered, I guess, new age swing. It was kind of. I think they opened the door for what R&B eventually became, which is more of a hip hop influenced R&B. It's not the old school "I Want to Love You Forever" R&B. And I think they opened the door for that, for a lot of the infusion of hip-hop and the rappers to get on R&B records and make R&B a lot more fast-tempo and up-tempo than what it used to be.
Okay, yeah, because I really liked that music when that came out. I thought that was good stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Even groups like Boys to Men, who kind of came from the Belle Biv DeVoe sound, they did some of that new age swing, but also kept it R&B. Boys to Men is one of the greatest R&B groups of all time.
Oh, definitely. I managed to check out your video, the one where you were giving lessons on home recording. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's actually funny, man. I just got offered the job, and I became the new head of music for a YouTube MCN called Freedom, which is actually the biggest MCN in YouTube, and they're a multi-million-dollar company. And, I've been working with these guys as far as licensing my music now for about 2 years. And the opportunity just came up that they needed somebody to actually take a hold of their music division and really run it correctly. So now, I'm part of the team. One of the things that I'm doing is the Nova Show, which is kind of touching on, home recording studios, techniques, tips, and tricks, because I do have my own home recording studio, and I do all my own music. So that's one of the topics that we touch on, of course, music news and things of that nature. But it's pretty cool, though.
Well, you're kind of like the Bob Vila of home recording, yeah?
It's funny. I actually watch a lot of Bob Vila videos because I do a lot of my own DIY stuff at home as well. So,
where do you live exactly now?
Well, now I just moved to Atlanta. I've been living in Atlanta now for about just about a year. Just about a year.
Oh, all right. Well, listen, why don't we play one of your songs? I've got two of your songs actually here to play. One of them I wanted to ask you, though, before I mess up the pronunciation. How do you pronounce Zieme?
Oh, Zaim. Yeah, he's actually Ice-T and Coco's R&B artist, and one of my good friends, and is actually pronounced Zaim.
Zaim, okay, because I was going to say Zima, like like the drink, you know, but I didn't want to screw that up. I hate people when they mispronounce other people's names. It's, I think it's rude, so I'd rather ask first.
No, sure.
Now, this particular song just says, the tag just says International Nova featuring Zaim and Beyonce.
The record is actually called Beyonce. It's actually from a new project that's about to drop. I want to say sometime in September. I'm still putting together all the promotional, things behind it. But it's called Beyonce. It's just pretty much explaining to your girlfriend or your loved one that, hey, you don't have to be Beyonce. We don't have to be the whole Beyonce and Jay-Z thing. We can just be us, and that's enough.
Oh, I see. So the actual title of the song is Beyonce then.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. I was a little confused. Well, let's play International Nova Beyonce. Here we go.
I'm saying, baby. We ain't gotta be nobody else. We can just be us.
You don't need to be Beyonce, and I don't need to be Jay-Z. We can be us. As long as you and me equals us, we won't ever have a fuss. Baby, we can be us. Baby, we can be us. No matter where we are, baby, we can be us. Baby, we can be us. Baby, we can be us. No matter where we are, baby, we can be us. Baby, we can be us.
She want it, she get it, she act, she got it, she bout it. This girl bad, got me going, ain't no doubt about it. And I can get it when I want it. Top down in that Mercedes, we swerving and getting blunted. We inhale, exhale. She got me flying on this plane like I'm Denzel. And mommy bad, I'm zoning. We get it popping and rolling. She put it down. And we can be best friends, so even lovers hold it down till that weekend. My girl bad, I lock it up and keep her hand on that ice like a hockey puck. And you can have it whatever you want. She got my heart, ain't no need to front. And we can be just us, baby boy and his queen, that's love.
You don't need to be Beyonce, and I don't need to be Jay-Z. You can be us. As long as you and me equals us, we won't ever have a fuss. Baby, we can be us. Baby, we can be us. No matter where we are, baby, we can be us. Baby, we can be us. Baby, we can be us. No matter where we are, baby, we can be us. Baby, we can be us.
You that one, right? My shorty down to ride, cause she my co-D, she riding by my side. And ain't no need to question, up on strong, we flexin', we putting on. It's you and me against the world, till the day that I'm gone, you my baby girl. Just hold me down and I got you. It's you and me to the end, baby, just you. And you can have it whatever you want. You got my heart, ain't no need to front. And we can be just us, baby boy and his queen, that's love.
You don't need to be Beyonce, and I don't need to be Jay-Z. We can be us. As long as you and me equals us, we won't ever have a fuss. Baby, we can be us. Baby, we can be us. No matter where we are, baby, we can be us. Baby, we can be us. Baby, we can be us. We can do it. No matter where we are, baby, we can be us. Baby, we can be us. We can just do all the things we used to do.
that was International Nova and Beyonce. Well, that's a nice song. I like that one.
Thank you.
Let me ask you something about recording, because I know that, first of all, can I ask you how old you are?
Sure. I'm actually 27.
27, okay. I wanted to ask you a little bit about recording, because after I saw your video, obviously you know what you're doing. But recording has changed so much over the last 20 years with technology. And it's kind of, when people do music now, it's done completely different than the way it was done when I was 27, for example. And I know that, like, when you do a song, do you start with a rhythm track, right? You do that
Yes.
first? Okay.
Yeah. I have a team of producers that I work with, that I've been working with for years now. Sometimes they'll send me, the actual beat or the record as far as the instruments put in there, and sometimes we arrange it, take it out, add extra things. More often than not, when a producer sends me a beat, by the time I finish the record and send it back to him, the beat sounds completely different. But I have a knack for kind of listening to certain little things that I like in the music and kind of making at the basis of the actual rhythm or the melody, and just kind of changing things around.
Okay, so you've got your basic rhythm track. Then what do you put on next?
Well, once I have the rhythm track and some of the instruments, I mean, the main thing for me is a melody. Once we have a melody, we can start forming, the drum patterns and snares and hi-hats and things of that nature. But with me, music starts with the melody. Same thing when it comes to lyrics. I mean, I need to have a melody in place. And once I have the melody, I can pretty much go in there and do my vocals without having anything else in the actual music but a melody. And then kind of build the music around the vocals if I wanted to. Or, go ahead and just take a beat that's already done and, then lay my vocals on top of that. It really depends on how the music is once I get it.
Okay, yeah, it's so different than, because when we used to record, I mean, we would start with the piano or a guitar. And then the rhythm track actually was the very last thing to go to go on the recording. So it's flipped around 180 degrees now, where everyone is starting with the rhythm track.
Yeah. I mean, especially when it comes to hip-hop music, I mean, it's really based on the rhythm track and the energy that rhythm track gives you. And you kind of formulate everything else around that.
Okay. The other question I wanted to ask you about rap and about hip-hop is something called gangster. Tell me about that. I mean, I know I'm going to sound like this fuddy old white man who doesn't know anything about it, but I really don't, and I really just want more of an education on what is, there's this East Coast, West Coast thing, gangster. I mean, what is this all about?
Well, people forget that hip-hop started in the streets. Hip-hop came from the struggle that a lot of inner city people were going through. No matter what the race is. I mean, I think a lot of different races went through the same thing. But hip-hop started from the struggle and from the poverty that a lot of us saw. And as far as the gangster mentality, I mean, it really comes, or it depends on the person and what they actually went through or been going through or are going through. Some people tend to portray the street image that they either lived or seen somebody else live. And some others, like myself, tend to kind of just, I went through it. I go through it every single day. Why promote more violence and more gangster, images to the world when I can kind of focus on, good feeling music and something that makes me want to dance and just have fun. But gangster really just comes from the street mentality, like in LA and all around the world, really.
Well, the message from some of the stuff that I've heard is like a very negative message. And I always felt that music should have had a positive message for people. And so sometimes when I hear that, I don't really like it that much, because I think they're giving kind of the wrong message. I mean, you could make the same statement about the blues way back, that came out of the hard times of the people in the South. And that kind of music was their way of escaping the miserable poverty that they were enduring. But the message in the music wasn't, I don't know, it just didn't seem like it was quite as negative as some of the stuff I've heard with the gangster stuff.
A lot of the things as well, though, is I think the media has a lot to do with that, because the media rather promote a negative image than a lot of the positive music that's out there. even someone like, let's just say, for example, Tupac, who was a complex person, had many uplifting records, many records uplifting the community, women, so on and so forth. But the media always and only portrayed the negative side of Tupac and other artists who are similar. And, so I think that I always tell people, me being a rapper, we always get the stigma, the gangster mentality and this and that. But at the end of the day, we also promote a lot of positive images. And unfortunately, a lot of the negative stuff kind of outweighs the positive things that we do, and we do try to show and address. But again, coming from the struggle and coming from the poverty and the violence and the oppression, there is going to be negative images and there's going to be violent music, because that's what a lot of the people go through on a daily basis. But I do think that there is a lot of positive music as well that is just not being showcased or even paid attention to, because, most of the media only wants to portray the negative.
Well, I agree with you on that, because any time that there was issues, or for example, like the thing in Ferguson, I mean, the only thing they focused on was people burning down the CVS and looting and things. But there were a lot of people in that community who didn't do that and who really were against all of that. But you didn't see them on TV at all. They were the ones that just get up and go to work every day and trying to make a living, and they didn't want any part of that. But you never saw those people. All you saw were the people out in the streets rioting, because that's what sells airtime. And I suppose you could make the same statement about rap music, that the kind of gangster.
Yeah, and
stuff.
What a lot of people didn't realize is that a lot of people didn't realize that even some of the stuff that happened in Ferguson, was found to be started by undercover policemen who were starting riots on purpose to, just to showcase that. What they didn't showcase was the fact that a lot of the street community and the gang members actually banded together to stop the violence and to stop the looting. Yeah,
I know what you mean. I think that the media just likes to see violence and all kinds of fire and people getting angry. They tend to love to show people that are angry and not people that are happy. For some reason, I guess happy doesn't sell. Angry sells. People,
exactly.
They don't want to show people jumping up and down. They want to show people burning a CVS. We live in a crazy world.
Again, violence sells, right? Anger sells, violence sells. Peace doesn't promote anything. A lot of times they use that type of stuff as well to kind of, just focus our attention to something else other than what's really going on behind the scenes.
Well, that's true, because actually most of the time there's nothing going on. So they're not going to have the cameras on people just going to work every day. Who would want to watch that? But
exactly.
If you got people out in the street yelling and screaming, well, then everybody wants to tune in about that. The other thing, and a project that you're working on right now, is a movie called Achilles the Hit, and you're playing a character called Omar. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's actually a really cool script. We start shooting in the next 2 weeks. It's actually something that I was brought into pretty much from the very beginning, and I'm excited to be a part of it. I wouldn't want to say it's about an urban thriller. It revolves around a character, Achilles, who is a pretty well-known street person, should I say, in the neighborhood, and some of the things that he goes through on a daily basis, and who do you trust in that type of situation? I think it's going to be a really, really great movie. The script is amazing. The cast is amazing.
Okay. Well, why don't we play I've got the audio portion of the trailer. I just want to play that.
Sure.
Okay, hang on one second. We'll do that.
Achilles the Hit is based on a short story I wrote a couple of years ago. It's about a local kingpin who owns the most popular gentleman's club in town called Diamonds and Pearls. Achilles' best friend is gunned down by mistake, and it's not long before he realizes the bullet was actually meant for him. It's a race against time for Achilles to find out who is behind the hit before the killer strikes again. Lion Beckwith stars as Achilles. Co-starring are Theron Dumas as Tyree, International Nova as Omar, John DiRenzo as Mo, and Robert Dobson as Brandon. The Hit, written by Leanne Moonraven, coming soon. Yeah,
well, I definitely want to go see it. That sounds incredible. I also want to mention that the voice you heard on that trailer is Leanne Moonraven, who is doing the film, and she is going to be on our show on the 22nd of September. So she'll tell us more about the film, I'm sure, and I'm really excited to have her on. Looking forward to that. Now, how long is the production going to be? Do you know? How long are you going to be shooting?
Looks like it's going to be about 3 weeks. I'm supposed to be there for about a week and a half. And I think the movie should be ready at least by the fall. So I think we're looking at October, November release date. I could be a little bit off, but I think that's what the company had told us last.
Okay, now tell us a little bit about Omar.
Omar's a slick-talking guy from New York City, so he's kind of right up my alley. And, he comes into the situation where, he pretty much doesn't know anybody. He comes into a situation where he meets people that are pretty big in the street, pretty big in the neighborhood, pretty big as far as business-wise, and he has to kind of navigate through all these different things and choose his own path. And, really can't say much more than that because the character is really perplexing, an amazing character, actually, and he's actually responsible for a lot of the things that happen in the movie.
Oh, okay, yeah, well, you don't want to give it away.
So I don't want to give too much away.
Okay, well, I wanted to ask you. Now, I don't want to get too personal or anything, but I'm sure people like to know. Are you married, or are you still a single guy?
No, I'm not single. Haven't been single for several years now. But this is the industry. This is what we do. Ladies buy records, so I still love my female fan base, and I love the support that I get from the female fan base.
Well, yeah, they. In fact, back in the day, they didn't want people to know that John Lennon was married when the Beatles first came to America because they thought it would lessen his female fan base if they knew he was married. So they kept that a big secret. His management said, no, we can't tell anybody he's married. They all have to appear to be single and available.
Yep. It still happens today. It still happens today, some interviewers ask the question, some don't. It's not something that I hide from,
Well, that's good. That's good. And, I think it does change your life. It does make you feel somewhat grounded. I feel like, now I'm an adult. Because before that, I was goofing around and playing around and drinking too much. And, then you have to settle down at some point, I guess.
Family does that to you. Family gives you purpose. And, I don't have any kids at the moment, but I do have, godchildren and nieces and nephews. And, once you start having that, man, it really gives you purpose in life.
Well, absolutely, because I think the focus shifts from you to them. And you end up kind of living your life according to what's going to be the best for them. And your own needs kind of go to the second, take a second place. Yeah.
Exactly. And, that's how it should be. Sometimes we do things without thinking, and when you have a family, you kind of, you put that at the forefront. So you make all your choices based on, what's best for your family, not only yourself.
Exactly. And I think it's a healthier way to live because people, especially in the music industry and the entertainment industry, tend to be more self-indulgent sort of people. We've seen so many who have just gone over the top, where a family can sometimes keep you grounded, where if you were all on your own, you might have that one more drink or have that one more line or whatever you're doing. You don't think twice about it if it's just you, but if you've got a family and you've got kids, it makes you think twice about doing crazy stuff.
At the end of the day, you have to set an example for your kids and really for your family in general.
All right, let's play the other song. I've got one here called "Bring It Back," and it says "clean." So I'm curious, in the non-clean version, what is?
Well, this is a up-tempo track. It actually features a new artist from Maybach Music, which is Rick Ross's label. It's an up-tempo club party, should I say strip club type of a record. It's just talking about dancing and just having fun and you know, just enjoying yourself.
Okay, so the non-clean version has a few words that might not be radio friendly. Is that?
Yeah, and it's nothing too crazy. It's just like, you know, several words that you know, just won't air on radio. So we had to kind of clean it up a little bit.
Okay.
But nonetheless, it's still a pretty cool record, and yeah, bring it back.
All right, let's hear it.
EMG. Now bring it back to me. Now bring it back to me. Little mama, see I can tell you wanna jump up on this pole, make it hot just like a sauna. Now jump around, yeah, just jump around. Shorty bend it over, make it bounce to the sound. Now pour that drink up and slide your panties down. Now go and touch your toes and bring it back around. Now don't stop, shorty, don't stop. Shorty, you a dime, make me bust when I'm on top. I make it rain, I'm a hurricane. Now put it out, you know I can. I get it hot like a dope spot. Go and make it work 9 to 5 like you at the top. Now make it bounce for me and bring it right back. Now make it bounce for me and bring it right back. Pour that drink up, pour that drink up. Shorty gotta make it clap, let that beat stop. She got a big booty, I call it big booty. Slide it up and down on that pole, bring it back to me. Now bring it back to me, now bring it back to me. Now bring it back to me, now bring it back to me. Now bring it back to me. Now bring it back to me.
Step on the scene, my clean, VVS is beam. Double MG, my whole team shine on the scene. Sparkles with that Moe, bring it back, mommy. We only sippin' Bel Air, triple B's, mommy. No on deck with them Spanish unos. Mira ven aquí, grande papi chulo, mommy, you know. Weatherman in this, rest in peace bundles. We throwing singles in this, we throwing racks bundles. Bring it back, mommy, back, bring it back. I'ma show you how to whip a hundo to a stack, then you bring it back, mommy, back, bring it back. 80-20 is the pass, split in half through the math. The Prince of New York, that's the one and only. From the east to the west, everybody know me. How can they miss me with a chain like this? I've been out that Maybach on my Maybach.
Pour that drink up, shorty gotta make it clap, let that beat stop. She got a big booty, I call it big booty. Slide it up and down on that pole, bring it back to me. Now bring it back to me, now bring it back to me. Now bring it back to me, now bring it back to me. Now bring it back to me. Now bring it back to me. Now make it clap, yeah, now make it clap with it just like that. Baby girl, make it clap. What's up? Now make it clap, yeah, now make it clap with it just like that. Baby girl, make it clap. Now pour that drink up, or drink that bottle down. Put it in the air and pass it all around. I put it down how you want it, cause I can lay you right 12 rounds till the morning. I lay that pipeline, I be that right kind. Pulling on your head, make you moan, bet you like mine. Now don't stop, shorty, don't stop. Throw it on that pole and make it work like you on top. Now pass the bomb diggy, that pound of sticky icky. Shorty get to work and blow it down. Now pass the bomb diggy, that pound of sticky icky. Shorty get to work and blow it down. Pour that drink up, pour that drink up. Shorty gotta make it clap, let that beat stop. She got a big booty, I call it big booty. Slide it up and down on that pole, bring it back to me. Now bring it back to me, now bring it back to me. Now bring it back to me, now bring it back to me. 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 Now bring it back to me.
All right, that one was called Bring It Back. And I have to admit, I like the lyrics a lot on that. The part about make it clap, I got a kick out of that. I think I know what you're talking about. Anyways, so what are you working on now? You've got any projects that you got going at the moment, aside from the film?
Yeah, I'm actually working on my new album, The Red Light District. Both being the album right now, just doing mixing and mastering, just tweaking certain things. I'm pretty much a perfectionist when it comes to my music, but we're looking to release the album between September and October. We're trying to lock down the release date, but we want to make sure we have the right promotions in place for the project.
All right, sounds great. Well, we look forward to that. Tell people where they can find you on the web, your websites, and where you can buy your music.
Sure. Well, you can find me on all social media. Twitter is Nova BX Prince, NOVA BX Prince. Instagram, Facebook, it's both International Nova. My website is www.internationalnova.com. Worst case, Google me. International Nova brings up a lot of different results. So on YouTube, you can just search International Nova. That's my YouTube page, my YouTube handle. I also have a new YouTube vlog series, which is really directed more towards the indie musicians and the DIY artists that, record at home and have their own home recording studios. I do a lot of tips and tricks and just different things that can help you guys. And that's called The Nova Show. And you can just search The Nova Show on YouTube and it will come up with all new episodes. I'm actually going to be doing that twice a week now, every Monday and Thursday. So I'm definitely looking forward to having as many people tune in as possible.
How many have you done so far?
So far, we've done 2 episodes. One was just a promo episode, which had over 1,000, had over 1,200 views in the first 8 hours.
Wow!
So the response has been great. Within 2 episodes now, we have over 188 comments, just under 200 likes. So the engagement is there. It's pretty cool. I'm loving the response. So we did 1 promo episode and we did 1 actual episode, and I'll be shooting 2 more episodes this weekend that will air Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time and Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
You said Monday 9 a.m. Eastern and
Thursday 9 a.m.
Thursday
Eastern
9 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay, Nova. Well, listen, it's been a real treat talking with you. Thank you for coming on the show. I hope to have you back. Good luck with all your projects. Okay, well, that's about all the time we've got for today. My special thanks to my co-host, Cindy of Ladylake Entertainment, and my very special guest, International Nova, who I know is going to do big things. You're going to hear all about him, and you're going to see him all over the TV and all over the radio and all over the internet. He's a great guy, very talented guy, and really a gentleman. So this is Douglas Coleman saying next week, guest to be announced. Bye-bye.
To the mile, you've got to run, not walk. To give us some